Hello everybody, Big Tony here, back with another video on this lovely Friday sunny day out here we're having today. I mean, it's pretty nice outside. It's not too cold out either, so don't know how long that's going to last, seeing how it's still January and, you know, this weather's been kind of up and downish, but, you know, for several winters we had bad winters. But you know what? We're not here to talk about the weather. I'm here to talk about pro wrestling. I want to talk more on the Attitude Era and the golden era of wrestling, the 80s, the years of Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage, you know, the Macho Man, you know. And I'm going to rant here on the Attitude Era a bit here. And how I think the Attitude Era is really blown out of proportion. And as well as the PG era and how it just it's like, really, I mean, we're dubbing this era the PG era now, when back in the day the rating didn't fucking matter at all, and now all of a sudden it's PG again, and now shit's being blown out of proportion. Now it's like, Jesus Christ, these internet smart marks just they just make me sick to my stomach. It just makes people like me hard to be a wrestling fan. It really is, and these guys are just sickening. But anyway, here's my rant on this. Okay. The Attitude Era, the precious Attitude Era. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the Attitude Era. It's just that these smart marks make me hate it so much because they make too much of a big deal out of it. I mean, it's the argument I hear all the time is, bring back the Attitude Era. Like today on Facebook, there was this one douchebag that fucking came on saying that, the PG Era is what's killing the WWE and we need to bring back the Attitude Era. Okay, first of all, the PG Era, for all you smarks, it's not that bad, okay? Come on. Granted, the product is lame, you know, it's not all that good right now, but it could be a hell of a lot worse, I think. I mean, and WWE's been through worse. Check, like, and business-wise, they've been a lot worse, too. So, I mean, you gotta give the WWE credit. They know what they're doing. Could they be a hell of a lot better? Oh, yeah. I totally agree with that. You know, WWE could be a hell of a lot better. And if they tried harder, though, but, you know, the thing is, they're not really going to change their product for anything at the moment, so it's like, I really wouldn't be giving getting my hopes up on a product, or like a new Attitude Era coming soon. Like, okay, first of all, bringing back the Attitude Era, what is that going to resolve? What the hell is that going to resolve? If anything, it's either going to turn audiences away even more, and it's, guys, bringing back the Attitude Era is not going to be 1,000 steps forward. It's actually going to be 10,000 steps back. You know, because you're basically devaluing. You're not making any progression by bringing back the Attitude Era, because the Attitude Era during its time was great, but it wouldn't work now. It just would not work now. I mean, it's like, what? Do we need more cussing? Do we need more violence? Do we need more swearing? I mean, and it's like, oh my God, people actually think that this is what makes the product great? I mean, God, society has definitely gone down the drain, and this is why I say the Attitude Era has ruined professional wrestling in a way, if not in a big way, because now everybody in their mind thinks, oh, you need to have swearing, you need to have violence, you need to have cursing, and all this sort of crazy, wacky shit just to make the Attitude Era, just to make the WWE a good product, when that's not the case. You know, look at the 80s, okay? Fuck that bullshit what The Rock said on his video towards John Cena. He said the Attitude Era was the best era in professional wrestling. Rock, I love you, but that's what I have to say to you, man. Sorry, man. The 80s, the actual greatest era in professional wrestling. The years of Hulk Hogan, the years of Macho Man Randy Savage, Andre the Giant, Roddy Piper, all those guys who actually started the business. If it wasn't for those guys, we wouldn't be having these conversations today, you know. There would be no WWE or WWF. Ugh. Did they need to swear? Did they need to blade all the time? Did these guys had to go through tables all the time? Jump off ladders? And fucking do all that crazy wacky shit to make the product good? No! Ugh, sorry. Those guys didn't need to do all that crazy shit. And yet, WWE became a global phenomenon. Sorry about that, guys. But anyway, now that I got my throat cleared, Hulk Hogan. He had a simple leg drop as a finisher. And he sold it as a finisher. And people, the fans, bought into it, you know. So, I mean, say what you want about Hulk Hogan, who is without a doubt, the greatest WWE superstar of all time. Numero uno. Say what you want. Say, oh, it's Stone Cold or Shawn Michaels. No, Hulk Hogan is the man forever. But that guy's talented. I mean, he may not have been the best in-ring technician. He may not have been doing some suplexes or crossfaces or ankle locks or all that other technician bullshit. But his in-ring ability was sold on his character, you know. I mean, they were sold on the character, and people didn't really mind his moveset as much, but you know, that's what got him over. People loved when he hulked up, the fans ate it up. And he hulked up, hit the punches, hit the boot, leg drop, 1, 2, 3, it's done, and the fans popped every time for it. Every time. And that's, granted, it wouldn't work now because if Hulk Hogan debuted today, it wouldn't get over. That's why many people are booing John Cena, which I could understand why, because he used to be a character when he was the rapper, but now he's more of the generic bodybuilder, cookie cutter babyface, and I think that's why a lot of fans are booing on him now, which is WWE's fault. It's not really John Cena's fault at all, because John Cena has a lot of charisma, and we have seen that. But again, going back to my point, if you want, many people overlook the 80s as crazy as fuck. You know, they overlook the 80s like hell. They look to the Attitude Era as, oh, this is the standard point in wrestling. This is when wrestling was at its best. Bull fucking shit. The 80s is where it was at. The 80s is when it was more real. Granted, you could say that the characters were more cartoony back then, but they treated it seriously. They treated the product seriously. The fucking belts actually meant something. The Intercontinental Belt, that's a fucking joke today, it was actually treated as a major title back then. And you want to talk about how precious your Attitude Era is? When did the belts start becoming props? You guessed it, the Attitude Era. That's when the belts actually started meaning less and less, because they were being hot-shotted all the fucking time to all these pointless title shots, title runs. That's where it all started, was the Attitude Era. You see my point here. Everyone who loves to praise the Attitude Era. Oh, there was great matches during the Attitude Era. I'm sure there was. There's great matches today too. It's not like, you know, there's no great matches at all today, and I think people, oh, just because it's John Cena, it's automatically a shitty match. You know, oh, and another point I want to get to, many people want to bitch and complain that John Cena does the same old shit, you know. What does Stone Cold Steve Austin do just about almost every Monday night during the Attitude Era? Beat up Vince McMahon. Yeah, that didn't get old after a while. Yeah, yet you fucking want to bitch and complain about John Cena doing the same old shit. Yet, every time, yet you cheer Austin for, you guessed it, doing the same old shit. Hypocrites. Yeah, so yeah, it's like, you know, that's kind of my rant on that. I'm trying to think what are the points I want to get across. But, you know, this just really bothers me. It really, really bothers me. So the 80s were the best. That's when pro wrestling was actually treated seriously. That's when, those were the years, by far, and I've talked to many people about this, and they agree with me on this, you know. Granted, you could debate that they were more cartoony then, but again, they treated the product seriously. I think the Attitude Era, as great as it was, it also had an everlasting negative effect on the product as well. Because now suddenly, people got into their minds where they had to do all this crazy, wacky bullshit just so the product could be good, you know. And it's like, my God, you smarks and all you people who actually think that the Attitude Era is the greatest era of all time and it needs to come back, get the fuck over it. Get over yourselves. And Vince McMahon has a lot to blame with this too, because he himself has, in my opinion, has not fully letting go of the Attitude Era. He knows that that was his most profitable time, and I will agree with that. The Attitude Era was perhaps his most profitable time in wrestling, and he's just going to hold on to it as long as he can, because even though he's trying to go PG, he's still holding on to the Attitude Era, seeing if it could still make him more money, you know. And PG, while still trying to be the Attitude Era, just does not work at all. Well, I'm going to end the video here. If I come up with any more points, I'll mention them later, but I just thought I'd rant on that, guys. Tell me what you all think. Peace out, everybody. Go Nero for life. Screw the Attitude Era.